Hmm. Alrighty, everything is up and running. Welcome everyone. I'm Dollar Free. Back to some more Dark Souls 2 actually. Alright, just making sure. Thankfully I don't have any issues like I did yesterday. I'm still not sure what exactly went wrong yesterday and why Elden Ring wasn't coming up properly. I have no idea. Either way, doesn't look like I've had any issues so far. Oh, that beautiful face. Absolutely not beautiful at all. Yeah, I cannot believe that last week I made it through the Crown of the Sunken King DLC. That was nuts. Just like absolute second win that I got after finally beating Nishandra, pushing through to Sin, having to try and learn Sin again. Yeah. Oh, that was still absolutely worth it. Now, I might go. Do I have any other rings that I really want at the moment? No, not really. Yeah, I picked up all the things that I kind of need. Cleanse ring, the flower skirt, Crown of the Sunken King. All of this is going to help. So, what's my plan for this part of this challenge? Yeah, like I said, first things first is I'm going to sweep out bosses. The optional bosses that I have yet to defeat before continuing on with the main. Now, there are four actually optional bosses that I need to beat at this stage. There's one more that I do need to beat, but I can't get access to it yet until I get to Drangleic Castle. But there are four that I can beat now. I might as well make them in order. Thankfully, they're actually not too bad to get to. Let's start things off with the old Dragon Rider. Thankfully, I don't have to go too far for this. This is going to be pretty straightforward. I can actually just kind of ignore everyone along the way. Just ignore everyone along the way. Doesn't matter. Thankfully, this build's really starting to form together. Oh, buddy, I need you to... Thank you. Yeah, all the High Knights here will respawn, even though I'm not in Covenant of Champions. That's right, Covenant of Champions... sorry, one thing I have to clear up. When you're in Covenant of Champions, kills you make on enemies do not actually affect the counter that you take them out how many times before they respawn. But all the dogs that I beat down at Lost Bastille, or going off and fighting them... Oh, this was a mistake. That was a mistake. I should have just gone straight in. Yeah, I really should have just gone straight in, shouldn't I? Run, and I hope I get in. I think I'm good. Yeah. Alright, first optional boss, Old Dragon Slayer. Of course I... Now, Old Dragon Slayer should be straightforward. He's basically just Ornstein's moveset. Except if I could actually roll, I'd be right. There we are. Yeah, it's Ornstein's moveset. He doesn't have the lightning. He instead will have dark damage. And you'll see that in phase, sort of when he gets down to like 50% of his health. Oh, actually right here. Yeah, that's a slightly different animation, I think. From... Ooh. Fine. Jeez. Okay, fine. Fine, buddy. You can tell that I'm a little rusty here. I don't typically fight Ornstein. If I was using a different weapon for this challenge, say the Height Lance maybe, I'd be going for Ornstein as one of the first things that I fight straight after getting the Agape ring, just to get the old Leo ring for the additional damage. Yeah, that's your other equipment. So quickly go through. Cleric's Palmer is a small shield with a spell parry. And the Tower Shield is... it's probably the earliest Great Shield you can get with 100% physical damage negation. I think it's the earliest, but it's also 30 strength requirement.
Transient being.
Also, this is Targray.
This is no place for one such as you. Be gone. You are not needed.
Okay, cool.
Transient you would never make a Knight of the Blue, and I have nothing more to say.
Yeah.
Be gone. You are not needed. Transient
yeah. So this guy is the Covenant Keeper for the Blue Sentinels. Trying to remember what the requirement is to actually join the Blue Sentinels. I've not really yet joined the Blue Boys ever. I think also all the bloodstains down here. I don't know what they're all doing. Guys, what are you doing? Were you just like... okay, this guy here must be fighting someone. I didn't think this was an invasion point. Either way, I didn't think people could get invaded here, but... unless they're fighting Targray. Alright, that's the first optional boss done. Now let's move on to the second one. The second one is located in Huntsman's Copse. Well, actually it's in an area adjacent to Huntsman's Copse. It's actually where the Brotherhood of Blood is, or the Red Covenant. Now, that being said, I do have to take a little bit of a roundabout trip. Just a little bit of a roundabout trip. Pretty sure we go up this way. Is it up here? Or am I going the wrong way? No, hold on. I think I'm going the wrong way. Buddy. Fine, the dog can go. Let me remind myself. Which way do I go again? Oh? It's the bridge. Someone gonna drop down? Yeah, no, I'm on the correct path from here, I believe. This is the one. Yep. This is the path. I know. Because you start seeing those guys. Now, this way is not too bad, actually. I think up there leads to... Oh. Okay, don't do that. That's a bad idea. Why do I have a skeleton? Yeah. Unfortunately, I was still in the animation. That's all right. Yeah, this one. So, joining the... I think what it is, thinking about how to actually join these covenants. I think I'm fairly sure that it's actually that you have to present an icon from something that you would otherwise normally earn from participating in that covenant. So for Brotherhood of Blood, this is the one that I remember a bit more of. You have to present I believe it's a token of spite, and the game allows you to get one from down in the bottom of the gutter. The one that I can't remember what it is for the Blue Sentinels. But I think you have to present one of those items. And then you get the opportunity to join the Covenant. Because they're like, oh, hey, you did well. I think as well, you can also... I don't know if you can receive the items. No, you don't. Sorry, I was just thinking, if you're being invaded by such a player... Yeah, if you're being invaded by such a player, but then you fight them off, you don't actually earn the item that they get from beating you. No, you get a different reward if you fight off and invade. Sorry. Oh, my voice is a little shot today, you can probably tell. Today's been heavy on the vocals. Now, you fight an invader off as a... Well, the only ones you can fight off are the reds, right? You can't get invaded by a blue. Sorry. You can get invaded by a blue if you are a red player who has accrued enough sin. Which is what you accrue for... Yeah, you accrue sin by doing things like invading players or killing NPCs. Once you hit 10 sin, you can be invaded. Actually, I think it's... Even if you have... I think it's 8 sin. Yeah, welcome to this sort of rumble. rumble's rough. Okay. That's what happens if you try to fight them normal. This is one of those things that I'm pretty sure they bumped the number up in Scholar. I don't remember if they bumped it up by like 1 or 2, but I feel like they bumped it up in the original version. And needless to say though, you can lure those people out. You just need... Hey buddy, what did I do to you? You just need a way to like lure one out. Yeah. Welcome to the old Dark Souls 2 gank spanking. As for how you lure one of them out, pretty straightforward. Just shoot one of them. That one will come out. And then there you go. By the way, if you die at the boss, you're going to have to redo this all again. So try not to die. Easiest piece of advice that I can probably give. You can see there's one more up there. We'll go this one here. Then I'll try to shoot this one up here. Little short. Nope. Alright, fine. I'll deal with 2. That's one of them there. The Golden Blind. Also, these guys are the ones that you can farm. Actually, no, not these ones. You need to farm Red Phantom versions of these guys. In a New Game Plus cycle, or I should say Bonfire Intensity 2, and you farm the Red Phantom versions for... Farm them for like cracked red eye orbs. If you can't win in the PvP arena... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to parry him. Alright, it's time to do the gank again. How many bolts do I have left? 5 bolts. That's alright. 5 bolts is workable. The Red Phantom doesn't respawn, so thankfully once you take out that guy, you're fine for the rest. Oh, don't worry though. The boss is a lot easier to fight than everything leading up to the boss. Done. Alright. First one, running solo. Okay. Done. And again, it doesn't matter how much damage you do when you're trying to lure out people, but that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much to say at the moment. This is just behind the Red Phantom is actually where the boss is. Or the boss arena. So it's just these 5 guys. And then the Red Phantom. And I'm too busy trying to parry. Yeah, I'm too busy trying to parry the Red Phantom. Oh yeah, forgot. There's another guy. Although somehow he hit me with the backswing on that 3rd attack. Low adaptability. The bane of my existence, but it's probably only going to bite me in all of the DLC areas, actually. Let me just try to parry this guy properly. Nope, you can't parry that one. Beautiful. Now look. 2 more hits. Done. Actually, he's done. Oh yeah, and these guys come up from behind the bridge. Now. Don't need the item there, but you do want to get that item, you have to jump for it. I would recommend actually fighting the boss first if you want to get that item before attempting the jump, because you don't need the item for the boss. You just need a safe bonfire to get to, and you don't really want to be running past the 5 huntsmen, 3 with the whips and the 2 with the, I call them scythes or sickles. Here we go. Actual cutscene. Despite the flashing blinkiness, this is entirely optional unless you want to join the Brotherhood of Blood. Oh yeah, that's the gimmick. Also, you can't spend too long in these areas. The chariots do get wise. They do start trying to hit you. Yeah, they do start trying to hit you. Come on, guys. You can't all be... Oh, this is bad. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, you can tell the distinction between the skeletons. So the first ones you fight... You see the gimmick, basically. The chariot goes around in loops. and you have to try and fight off the skeletons, the necromancers who respawn the skeletons. So if you've had no experience with the skeletons that are underneath the ops area, sort of the underground, the tunnels that are next to the bonfire that are just up there, then you're going to have to try and deal with the fact that the skeletons respawn. But the whole skeletons and necromancers thing definitely draws on a lot from Dark Souls 1, really does it. Oh yeah. Okay, these guys are full. I was gonna say one of them did fall down. Oh, that's frustrating. Unfortunately, I took too many hits going in. So, you can run to the skeleton. You can run to the chariot, but you need to have taken less damage. Because you can't quite guarantee you're going to get to a safe spot and deal with skeletons at the same time. Yeah, because don't forget, you've got skeletons in the boss arena straight away. Or fairly close to straight away. So, there's not much advice I can give apart from just try not to get hit. But here, as long as I don't get hit again, I should be fine to just run into the arena. Yeah. See, now I'm fine to go into the arena. I just need to drop one of the skellies. Alright. Now I want to make my way over to the first necromancer. So this is how you actually... If you're trying to play it safe... If you're trying to play it safe, you kind of have to try and get to one of the necromancers, take out the necromancer, take out the associated skeletons, and then move on to the next. There are 3 necromancers in the arena up to that point. Now, I should explain. Actually, there are 2 ways you can beat the Executioner Chariot. One way is if you have really good ranged attacks, or even half decent, like you've got enough arrows or bolts for whatever weapon you're using, or you've got enough casts. You don't have to try and... Actually, no, I'll explain the melee mode first. The melee mode first involves you having to go the way that I'm going, which is you run past the... You run past or handle the 3 necromancers and the skeletons until you get to the lever that you saw the skeleton pull in the cutscene. You pull that lever and that knocks the chariot away from the skeleton, or you just have to deal with the skeleton walks. play it a bit safe here. And I'll run to this one. Note that you cannot stay in the same place over and over, because, again, the skeletons will follow you, but more so than that, the actual chariot can actually attack you in certain positions if you are staying there for too long. Yeah, that one. Also, you can roll through. You can roll through the attacks. Okay, good. Put ourselves a little bit of clearance. Do one more. Hold on. Where's the lever? Guys, I'm a little too far out from the lever. Did I go the wrong way? Did I actually go the wrong way? No, the lever's right here. Blinders are bad, I'll tell you what. Yeah, you pull this, and this causes the chariot to crash. Oh yeah. Now you just got to deal with the actual chariot itself. Still alive. Play it nice and easy. A little bit. Ooh, thankfully I had my shield up. Done. Yeah, most of the defeat, I actually thought it was 3. For some reason, I thought it was 3 necromancers. My brain is going, misremembering things. So, 2 necromancers and the skeletons. This is the way that you do this fight if you are a melee character. If you're a ranged character, you comfortable trying to shoot at a moving target like the skeleton chariot? You can shoot at the chariot, either the horse or I think the skeleton up on top. And once you do enough damage, it'll actually stop looping around. Now it's still alive, but what happens is it goes, oh, I'm so tired, because it has to make a jump over here. Yeah, you can get around to that side. But the game programs the chariot to make this jump from there to here. But the jump fails if the chariot's at low enough HP. And then the chariot's just hanging out. Well, the horse is hanging out here. Chariot's dangling down in the pit. And you can, as a ranged character, make your way over nice and neatly and play it safe. Try and shoot the horse. And then, if you're far enough away, the only thing you can do is try to breathe. Yeah, breathe dark. Call it dark mist. Or dark horse snot at you. But that's all you can do. You still have to deal with the skeletons and the necromancers, but you can work through that in your own time. If you're a melee character, you have to juggle a little bit more as you're going through. Now, this is Titchy Gren. He is the Covenant leader for the Brotherhood of Blood.
Oh, welcome. Welcome. Do you have a lust for blood?
Now, you can say yes, or you can say no. Doesn't matter. I'm going to say yes.
Yes, of course. Why else would you be here? Do you give yourself the honor? Well, that's no fun. Go back home.
Yeah. Nar Alma, basically, if you say yes, you'll join the Brotherhood of Blood, and you get access to benefits for invading other players. So, there's no permanent tool for invading until you get to, I believe it's rank 2 in the Brotherhood of Blood Covenant, in which case you get a permanent item, but otherwise you have to use cracked red-eye orbs. Oh yeah, true. Sorry. You can, I believe, as a player, if you're not in Blue Sentinels, you can use one of these. Sorry, you can only use them, your Blue Sentinels. These ones, you can use it as anything, and you obtain a token of spite. The token of spite is not necessary. You don't hand it in, actually, to the Tichigren in order to level up the Covenant. The token of spite is actually used as a currency to actually participate in the arena, in the Brotherhood of Blood PvP arena. Depending on which statue you stand in front of, you'll join one of 3 arenas. I think that's the case. No, actually, that's incorrect. It's randomly determined based on where people seem to be ending up getting put into. So it kind of rotates around the place. It's a little bit hidden mechanic. Use a token of spite, enter into the arena, and each time you win in the arena, you earn points to level up in the Brotherhood of Blood. Now, unlike a lot of other covenants, if you lose a battle in the Brotherhood of Blood arena, then you actually lose ranks, or you lose points, and you could drop down in rank in the Brotherhood of Blood. I think it's 10 wins to go. So neutral, 0 wins is +0 in the Covenant. 10 wins is rank 1. 25 wins is rank 2. 50 wins is rank 3. Remember, that's 50 more wins than losses. Every loss you take, every loss you face in the arena is a loss of one of your points. It's quite interesting. I don't know how I feel about it, because it's a lot of backwards and forwards. And the Brotherhood of Blood arena can really emphasize, well, unless you find someone who's just going to muck around and have fun, you will get people who are like going to sweat it out in here, because that's what it is. It's the competitive PvP. Well, it's the PvP environment for people who want to show off, because if you hit rank 2, you get an even better glow on your Covenant rank than what you do if you're not rank 2 or higher. Oh yeah, you can do this. This is like, why would you do this? If you want more cracked red-eye orbs. Either way. The other mechanic, again, I've mentioned. Each time you invade a successful player, you go and you actually win. You accrue 1 point of sin. At 8 points of sin, you can be invaded by Blue Sentinels, who, when they invade you, they earn their currency as well in order to level up their Covenant. Also, Blue Sentinels have an easier time. I think they can invade down a little. Reds, more often than not, you'll be facing people who are about your level of soul memory or higher. yeah, you can pay to have your sin reduced at Cromwell the Pardoner, but he can only reduce sin up to 10. And the moment that you have sin, and I think you hit like, I think I'm misremembering the mechanics either way. Either way, if you want to clear yourself of sin and you've been in the Brotherhood of Blood, you kind of just need to hope to get invaded by blue sentinels and let them kill you. Until the point where you reduce your sin to 0 and they can't invade you anymore. That's just how the mechanics work. By the way, that's the second optional boss. Far longer to get here than it did actually to beat boss. Optional boss number 3 is going to be both of the Rat Covenant bosses. Let's start things off with the first area, one that I skipped through both of them. This is the Grave of Saints. So this is similar to the Bell Bearers areas. Well, area singular that I've been to, the one with the gargoyles. This is an optional area that you travel through. And when you travel through this area, it takes you to a way that's a little easier to get to down further in the gutter. So that is, for example, if you can't make the jump and survive all the way down, get to the gutter. For example, you're up from that platform and you can't land down there safely with the ladder, but you can land here safely. Well, then you're kind of going through Grave of Saints. Also, considering that the drop from platform with the ladder down to the lower platform is even larger. So it's sort of like the HP, so bigger checks, fall damage control checks. And for a lot of players, especially when you're first time through, you're probably going to find yourself traveling through Grave of Saints. This is probably the only area where you might expect to have to try and travel through an optional area just to get through to a mandatory area. Because the other Rat Covenant area is where the Doors of Pharos are. In other words, you can get to the bonfire beforehand, but you don't need to travel that way to get up to Brightstone Cove Sildora. Needless to say, the Rat Covenant is interesting. You travel through, and players invade you. I mean, it's sort of interesting. When they invade you and they win, they get a rat tail, and they use the rat tail to level up in the Covenant, which then opens up new shop options and other little bits and pieces. Also, the head of the Covenant is a rat. But this is going to be, if you're going to get invaded by a Rat Covenant member, like an actual player, this is more than likely going to be the spot where you get invaded. And the Rat Covenant players know this. So, in its heyday, this tended to be the point where the Rat Covenant players would duke it out. Oh, well, they'll try to come here and invade you in order to get their rewards. Not that this is a very large area at all. Also, I mean, it's quite short as an area. You climb up here, and I believe it's just a little further up to the boss. I think it's like... Where do we go again? I think it's one more ladder up. Oh, there's an NPC invader in here as well. Fairly sure. I should have been invaded by an NPC invader. Either way, once you hit this bonfire, you're safe. Because the fog gate, if you are invaded, the fog gate stops you from going into this point. Once you get here, as a human player, just up here is the boss area. Now, I hope you like rats. Okay, this fight's fairly straightforward. You have to beat 10 of these rats. Yeah, you have to beat 10 rats. Yeah. Unfortunately, I took a little too much damage. Probably should have cleared the rat out beforehand. Here, you beat 10 rats, and that spawns in the actual rat boss. Once you beat the rat boss, all the remaining rats disappear. The rats technically aren't infinite. I believe they cap out. They start slowing down the closer you get to having beaten 50 rats, until you can hit a point where there are no more rats spawning in. But until then, you have to deal with a lot of rats. Also, the rat that you have to beat, which is the boss rat, has a little bit of a different look from the others. There we are. You can see the health bars come in. Now I've got to keep an eye out for our special rat who's there. He's got a little... He's got himself a little crest on his head. And he inflicts toxic with his attacks. But that's it. Yeah, beating the boss also nets you a rat tail. It also nets you a rat tail. But as for where you join the Covenant, the first time you travel through any one of these areas, here, you see one of these guys.
Leave this place, human. We have no time for thy kind. Humans bring nothing but filth.
And if you talk to him again, I believe you can actually join... Yeah, if you talk to him again, you can offer to join the Rat Covenant. And he'll go, right, you defend these areas. And in exchange, you earn rat tails, which you then turn in. The one thing that really helps with certain builds, and it's a reason why people might want to join the Rat Covenant for a while anyway. Oh yeah, the crunchy noise. The Rat Covenant head sells a massive stockpile of dung pies. He sells a lot of dung pies. And dung pies are really useful for PvP. Or, depending on your build, yeah, you know, you may just want a pile of dung pies anyway. Yeah, as you can see here, this leads up to just above the bridge that you can get to. If you make the drop all the way down to the lower level of the Grave of Saints and you skip it, you make the... You basically end up just above the bridge. Don't forget, when you go down to the water below, you have the exploding undead. By the way, I'm going to try and jump to get that item. That item is actually kind of interesting. It's a chime. There we go. Now, you can try to make the jump from where that sign is. It's a lot trickier than going through Grave of Saints. I'll tell you that much. But I will briefly talk about this chime. The disc chime. You can use it as a shield. Cast miracles and hexes. It does all right. It's actually like really kind of half decent in terms of physical damage. But interestingly enough, it's also got a little hidden effect where it can improve the power of your miracles by, I believe, 3%. So depending on your build, you may want the disc chime on the offhand, act as a shield, but also to power up things like Wrath of the Gods or Sunlight Spear or anything else like that. Now, I'm just going to use the Dark Sign. I don't need anything else from here. With that said, there's one more optional boss to go. And it's probably the most tricky of the optional bosses. But that one's at the Doors of Pharos. Doors of Pharos was another popular Rat Covenant area. Not because it has anything that you may particularly... It's not like you have to travel through Doors of Pharos in order to get anywhere else, right? Brightstone Console Door is literally just up this... out this way... Oh, sorry, wrong way. Out this way. And up the stairs. And that's it. But depending on what you're after, this area here, the Doors of Pharos, has a lot of options. It's got, for example, Santier's Spear. For people, there was a time when Santier's Spear was like this super weapon. I think they had to adjust it in one of the patches. No, they definitely did have to adjust the Santier's Spear in one of the patches. Getting invaded because I'm hollowed out. But if you want a place to burn all your Pharos Lockstones, this is it. You find the right Lockstones to open up. Some of them actually just open up traps. Like they'll straight up just open traps. Whereas others will open up interesting items or weapons or anything like that. Oh yeah, that's right. Toxic. This may or may not be your first experience with Toxic. Absolute pain in the behind status effect that it is. The thing that makes the boss so hard is that there are 4 of those rats who inflict Toxic. Done. Hey, the pool of blood over here, people getting trapped. Like, this is a rough area here. Dealing with the Gurm Warriors. See everyone here. Absolutely getting smacked. Oh, and if you're concerned about this chest breaking, there's nothing actually important in this chest. Except if you want a petrified dragon bone. Except if you want one, or if you're doing a one-shot, you're doing like a low soul memory challenge and you're using a boss weapon. By the way, as for which way you go, you kind of have to head around. Yeah, I'm just going to ignore all the lockstone items because I don't actually need anything from any of the lockstones. I don't need Santier's spear or anything else like that. I think though... Trying to remember. That's right, it's over here. And yeah, same as the other area. If you go through this gateway, that's the point where you're safe from invasion. Now, this boss fight is going to be terrible. I might even change my spell up and I might try to put Scraps of Life on. Because I just mentioned before, you have 4 of those toxic rats running towards you in this arena. And they're the things that usually kill you. Okay, well that's fine. And the boss is actually just up there. It's Dark Souls 2's Poor Man's Civ. It's not even that cool. Like, Dark Souls 2 has 42 bosses compared to Dark Souls 1's 26. And it's fair to say that not all of them are good bosses. Yep, there's the toxic coming in. That's kind of what you need. They're not all good bosses at all. Still, it's... Thankfully, this one's an optional boss, and for a lot of people, you just don't even bother. Because there's not much reason to come here. Unless you're after something like Santier's Spear or Twisted Barricade or something else. Gotta get those Scraps of Life timings right. You can see it kind of looks like a rat dog. So, let's talk about this boss. There are the 4 rats. The thing is, the moment you attack any of the rats, all of them activate. So if you were to, say, think that, oh yeah, what I'll do is I'll sit back here and I'll snipe the 4 rats and then I'll get close and deal with the dog. The moment you shoot one of the rats and you hit, they all aggro to you. So that's what catches ranged players off guard because the rats are small. The toxic rats are small, fast and really annoying. Again, toxic will kill you very quickly. And even if somehow you purge the toxic and you're still alive, they can also build up stone or petrification, which is painful. Big Rat up there, the worst thing he can do is actually spit out corrosive acid that will break all your equipment. Which I tell you what, would be absolutely devastating for this run if any of my equipment got broken, but thankfully the tell for the acid bath is really obvious and you can get space to make sure you stay clear. Hoping to get far away enough. That's sort of my strategy though. If I can throw out a couple of scraps of life and hit some of the early rats, like the little ones, because they take maybe 2 direct hits from a scrap of life in order to clear them out. And hopefully at the very least buy myself some time so I can, even if I take a hit, I just yeah, even if I get hit once by the big rat, the boss, I'm hopefully got enough space between myself and the little rats that I don't have to worry about getting toxic when I heal. Because the big rat is not as fast as the little rats. The little rats will catch you very quickly if you try to run away to heal. Alright, this is gonna go poorly. Yeah, I'm dead already. Yeah, the big rat can knock down the little rats, but he's not going to actually be able to kill them. Doesn't do enough damage to them. But that was a run over straight away. Unfortunately, getting hit with toxic is usually like attempt over on this. It's also a really good thing that this boss is not required, because if this boss was required, one of them got through the scraps of life. Yeah, one of them got through the scraps of life, unfortunately, and hit me with the toxic. Unfortunately, scraps of life strategy here is kind of inconsistent. Pyromancers can do the same thing with Firestorm and try to get it about the same way. Yeah. I needed the 4th scrap. Also, where the big rat guy lands, that does the stop damage. I might jump and actually run over this side, so the big rat doesn't directly land on me. I can get 3 scraps of life off safely in that position. I get 3 of them off safely. And then I have to focus on surviving. I can get the 4th one off. I don't know if I'll get a chance to get the 4th one off. It's just really tricky timing. Yeah. Ah, big guy, come on, come on. Ah, big guy, come on. I wasn't getting enough distance away from the big rat. The safest place to deal with big rat is directly underneath his legs. Same thing with Sif, same thing with dragons. But unfortunately, because I took a hit and one of the small rats was still alive, couldn't risk it as an option. If all the rats were gone, I would be fine. Okay, that time all the little rats were done for. I just had to try and survive the roll in order to heal. Yeah, I'm so glad you don't have to fight this boss for a no death, no bonfire run. Okay, I think all of them are done. All of them were done, but I unfortunately tried to block and I took the hit. Put into the stun animation. Nope, this is doable. This is doable by far. Though I don't think more armor is going to necessarily help. Still, I can try to find something to put on. Except this improves my roll. Yeah, I don't have anything I can put on, except maybe the leather gloves. If I put the leather gloves on, I think I've got enough clearance. No, I don't actually. I mean, I'm done for. Yeah, getting toxic. Usually the death spell. Even if you dunk a flask straight away, you still can get hit by the big rat's first attack. Really though, one of the best ways to clear them out is to be able to actually one-shot the rats. Unfortunately for me, a +2 chime and my current that loadout isn't going to cut it. I need more faith, but you can obtain more faith boosting gear from unfortunately there's way too many. Yeah, all of the rats were alive that time. This is going to be RNG for a while. Okay. That was 3 scraps of life. Take 1 hit. And it's basically like, I throw down 3 scraps of life and I hope I land enough hits on the rats to take them out. So yeah, I don't have Firestorm or Chaos Firestorm. you kind of just have to stay underneath this dog. Up. And see, he's not too bad himself. You get like 1 or 2 hits, as long as you just mindful of staying around the back legs. I think I'm... Oh, I got very lucky there. Done. The moment you get all the rats done, the little ones, and you get a little bit of space to balance out against the big rat, you're safe. You're fine. Not too bad, actually. There was only a couple of attempts. Yeah, that fight can go pretty badly if you're not prepared to handle the small rats. Also, Rat Covenant guy again. As for what you get for going through here, well, congrats. You actually kind of get nothing. You just literally drop down behind the Germ Warrior over here, who I am just gonna absolutely bully. Because all the items for Doors of Pharos are located behind... All the good stuff is located behind the Pharos lockstones. Anyway. That is all 4 of the optional bosses that I needed to beat as part of this stream. As for what I do now, I'm going to actually go on with the main story. So, before going to Shulva, I'd beaten all 4 of the old souls required to make my way through the Shrine of Winter. I believe my entrance is... Hold on. That's Fog. This way, I believe, is Aldia's Keep. And then I think this is the one to the Shrine of Winter. Yeah, this is the one here. Easy. Oh, okay. Done. Yeah. Present axe. Oh, I was really hoping to get that and still have scraps of life on. Oh yeah, and you can try to farm these guys for an S-Stock if you actually want to go S-Stock is best stock build, rather than using the mace. Will take you a little bit of wiggling because you try and farm them. Covenant of Champions. I should mention, this is the portal to the Frozen King DLC, but the key to it is actually found in Drangleic Castle, so we will actually have to come back here later on. Oh yeah, the funniest thing. Yeah. Too bad you can't jump in this game. bad you cannot jump. Because this would definitely not be an obstacle in Elden Ring. It's kind of hilarious that this is an obstacle. I should have just, like, walled it off. Something fierce. Done. You can run past these guys. And there's nothing wrong with that. You'll eventually get far enough that you don't have to worry about them. And it's usually the better strategy in this case. Once we go through here, welcome to the perpetual rain that exists around Drangleic Castle. Also, these guys are specifically firing lightning. They're specifically firing lightning bolts. The lightning bolts are the thing that kill you really quickly here because while you're wet, you lose lightning resistance. You can probably tell from all these pools of blood. Everyone here is running in. Why would you try to buff here? Why would you try to buff here? Yeah, all these people are dying to the enemies in this area because you can't be invaded in this specific spot. This is not an invasion zone at all. You chugging like that. Yeah, that'll get you. Still love this feature. Just being able to view multiple pools of multiple blood stains at once rather than having to view each one at a time. Such a cool little thing. Oh yeah, if you didn't have slabs in a chunk, you're sitting on a +8 mace, and you didn't... So, for example, if you were in a +8 weapon, and you didn't want to, say, use a bonfire ascetic on Forest of Fallen Giants, and you didn't have a slab, this one Crystal Lizard has you covered. Straight up has you covered. Also, Emerald Herald.
This castle is isolated. But nonetheless, you must forge on. To bring an end to your journey and mine.
She says nothing else. So, welcome to the Drangleic Castle Rumble. Yep. You can probably tell I hit that guy with 3 R2s. And that was half his health. Even with the royal soldiers, their health gets jacked up a fair bit the moment you go to Drangleic Castle. That's kind of how the game sort of ramps up. Oh, going the wrong way. Don't need to go to Aldia's Keep. Like, it's the old Soul style thing where, you know, bump the HP values. Bump them up so people know this is a tougher area. Meanwhile... Oh yeah, I should mention as well. One of the things that's a little different. So out the front of Shrine of Winter in the original version of Dark Souls 2 used to be a Llewellyn soldier. They're the short, stubby soldier that you see with the big sort of square shields. We haven't seen them too much, but we have seen them, for example, in the area that's between Hades Tower of Flame and No Man's War. And there's like one of them sort of guarding the chest with the Sublime Bone Dust. Now, out the front of the Shrine of Winter used to be one of those soldiers. The only thing is, I believe, having the soldier there allows you to parry walk and skip the Shrine of Winter. By the way, speaking of skipping things, I'm going to skip these two guys. There's no reason to fight them. But they've obviously removed that person for Shrine of... Now, this one, I've got to... I get the... Ah, I didn't get the gimmick in time. Fine, we'll try this again. Come on, buddies. Alright, that should open up the second one. Oh yeah, and a little hidden, well, not so hidden, but kind of possible chest here. You wanted great combustion and a fire seed. Again, really nice and useful. It's a shame you get it so late. But it is what it is. So, the little bit that I skipped over here is the gimmick that's introduced in... Oh yeah, speaking of... That's right, these guys are actually, they're not Llewellyn soldiers. These guys are Cyan. S-Y-A-N. Sorry. Llewellyn Knights are in a different spot altogether. Yeah. The gimmick that's introduced in Drangleic Castle, you'll have these stone golems near pillars. When you beat an enemy, normally its souls travel towards you. But in this case, you have to beat an enemy so that this pillar or the chalice is closer to the enemy than yourself. And the soul will instead get drawn to chalice. And that can be used to open up varying doors. It'll appear one more time, actually just below us, where there's bonfire. There'll be a room with a lot of those.
Who are you? And by whose permission do you stand before me? This castle is the domain of King Vendrick. Is your trespass intentional? His Highness. Where has he gone? You are a guest of our castle.
Yeah. Chancellor Welliger here is just an example of someone who's... Well, he's a ghost.
King Vendrick.
The initial conversation there may throw you out. But that's because it's the incongruity between what, as a ghost, he should be doing, which is based on his primal need to... or primal instinct, whatever you call it. It's sort of the base thing that's keeping here, which is to act as a chancellor and serve people. And that's clashing with the memory of the fact that they might be at war and King Vendrick's actually not here. So that's why the first part of that conversation plays out so differently. Like, hey, why are you here? Are you trespassing? Something like that. But then logic loop happens. Probably there's a mind reset. And then,
My lord made magnificent findings on souls.
and he's just like,
An accomplishment for the ages.
shut down, reset. But yeah, I'm a chancellor. I'm here to serve you. If you're here to see
Built this
Lord
kingdom
Vendrick.
upon their souls. Our king has watched over
Notice
this
here,
land
a while ago said
since
that
ages long
you
ago.
he beat the 4 great ones and built the kingdom of Drangleic on their souls.
Or the giants will take
Now, the
Drangleic.
original forms of the 4 great ones are an unknown to you. What you fight instead are those beings that have inherited the souls of those great ones. The Lost Sinner was not the original person who had that great soul. What you instead pick up from her is the fragment of her own soul and sort of the fragment. You pick up her own soul and you sort of pick up the essence of the Great One's soul. Now, if you fight these bosses on New Game, Bonfire Intensity 2+, you'll get a little bit more information about what the actual Great Souls were. But
The king had a dear queen, a woman of unparalleled
new lines here.
beauty. Long ago, the queen came to us, alone, from a faraway land. She warned our lord of the looming threat across the seas, of the giants. The king crossed the ocean and defeated the giants with the queen at his side.
So, Drangleic existed before the Queen showed up. Now, the bits that we know, when Vendrick went to fight the giants, he beat them. And the war that's happening in Drangleic now, that's playing out through the sort of remnants that you see in Forest of Fallen Giants, that is the giants deciding to take revenge and traveling from their country to Drangleic to wage war on the populace here.
The king commandeered their power and created the golems. With the golems, the king created this castle to celebrate victory and to show his love and his gratitude to his queen.
Yeah, and then the castle forms afterwards.
The queen brought peace to this land and to her king. A peace so deep, it was like the dark.
And if you're not familiar with the terminology of the dark, that's your little hint that something's not quite right.
Is this some sort of a dream? Where am I? What has happened to our castle? Who are you? And by whose permission do you stand before me?
And again, the logic loop kicks in, and you, as in Chancellor Williger, sort of shuts down again.
Welcome, visitor. Our guests are treated with honor. This is the way of our castle. Tell me if you should require anything.
Now, let's quickly talk about Chancellor Welliger. Welliger doesn't sell anything too important, except on New Game Plus 2. So not Bonfire Intensity, the actual New Game Plus 2. He will sell the rank 3 spells from the Brotherhood of Blood and the Blue Sentinels. So if you're not keen on doing PvP, whether as a red or a blue, to get those spells, or get the spell and the it's actually the miracle and the pyromancy associated with those covenants. For example, if you're hunting for the all pyromancies, all miracles achievements, stuff like that, you have to make your way through New Game Plus 2. Other thing I guess I'll note, you have the fancy elemental arrows here. And if you really want something fancy, you can get the Lucerne, which is a surprisingly underrated weapon. Like, it's really kind of underrated. It's a little tricky to use for a halberd because it's got a real sweet spot on the end. But it does a lot of critical damage, as you can tell. And then the flambeau just has a bleed effect built into it.
Gone so soon. Be safe on your travels.
Now, let's talk about the room up here. As befitting a castle, normally when you walk through, you'd see throne room. Now, I remember correctly, this is Vendrick's chair. And then this is the Queen's chair. Vendrick is he's not small by any means. You'll see when we get to him. As for the bloodstains, these people are all on bonfire intensity 2+. There's a little surprise here waiting for people who decide to come in. Worth it though, but I'm not going to do it for this playthrough. This area is going to be tricky enough as it is, and I don't really want to be dealing with the surprise. Beautiful. That's the last sublime bone dust. Hey, I should also mention, I've brought this up before, but there are 2 remaining Estus Flask shards, and I needed to get to here in order to even get to the areas where it can get those shards. Thankfully, I one-shot these guys from the back. But again, this gimmick where the Cyan Knights are all petrified, this comes up a little bit as well through here. This is a way to sort of keep you on your toes. But it's kind of clear when someone's in front of a doorway that they're going to be a Cyan Knight who's going to be hiding. Don't do that, buddy. Hello, it's me. Hello. How you doing today? Alright, let me just open up the bonfire here and then actually switch out from Scraps of Light. Alright, switch that out for just a regular heal. Kinda love this little area of Drangleic Castle. Let me just deal with this guy first. Brain struggling at Blasphemous 2. Hey. Well, this has been going all right. I've just beaten the 4 optional bosses that I needed to beat. Hold on. That being Old Dragon Slayer, Executioner Chariot, and both Rat Royal Vanguard? The Royal Rat Vanguard or Rat Royal Vanguard? What's the order? Yeah, see, there's the Executioner Chariot Soul, the Old Dragon Slayer Soul, Royal Rat Authority, and Royal Rat Vanguard. So I beat both of those. I also had a little bit of thinking about Elden Ring, and if I really wanted I had like a challenge idea for Elden Ring, but nothing's really sticking at the moment. Otherwise, I'm doing all right, although my voice is a bit shot. Ooh, I may have accidentally opened up a door that I didn't want to. Accidentally opened up the sentinel door. Oh, I've accidentally got 2 ruined sentinels. I'm dead. Nope, I'm still alive. Still alive. Let me just quickly pop in here. Yeah, my voice is a little shot. I've had a lot of talking over the last couple of days. And while my voice was kind of okay for Elden Ring, it's starting to show its wear and tear now. I'm sure you know that feeling when you do vocals for a while and your voice gets rough afterwards. Yeah, otherwise I'm planning on taking things a little easy today. Also, in case you're wondering where the fancy crown came from, that is actually the crown that you get at the end of the Sunken King DLC. So I beat that last time. It was like, don't have to watch the full VOD, but you can see why it's like 5 hours. I'll take that. Not sounding too bad, all things considered. I'll be happy with that. Just slap this guy here. Beautiful. Royal Soldier's Ring +1. I don't think I'll need that. And what do I have in here? Mastodon Greatsword. No. I wouldn't use it normally. I'm not trying to see these guys in the dark. There we go. Oh, that was a torch. Alright, well, I'll take a torch. Oh, great. Not another ruined sentinel. Okay. That's a shame. Yeah. I guess I'll ask the question, like, with Blasphemous 2, is it like a boss that you're stuck on, or like just a game mechanic? I was fine with Souls-like games. Feel like things are darker. Well, might be Dark Souls 2 being darker as well, but not sure otherwise. Hit me with the golf swing. Yeah, getting stuck on a boss is always like the most frustrating part. I should see. Why do I still have to deal with both of these ruined sentinels? Does anyone want to come out like for a one-on-one, please? Thank you. Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, get that feeling every time I play Elden Ring at the moment. It's just like butting heads against like bosses for hours. No, I don't want to fight two of them in the same area. Please don't do that to me. This is why opening all these doors was a mistake. First, my insatiable need to collect items. Oh. Hold on, I just got invaded. Yep. Hope you're happy there, buddy. You might be wondering, he's probably thinking to himself, why did I die so quickly? Any advantages to color blindness? Temporary moments where you're stressed and your vision returns to normal. I don't know necessarily if there's... I'm not a optometrist and I can't really speak for color blindness. Not sure what exactly you would define as an advantage, which is always the fun. I guess that's sort of the question there is like, what do you call an advantage? Stone soldier spears. All right. Yeah, I wish I could, like, give a bit more of a thought on that question, but I honestly just don't have any idea because I can't speak for experience or from experience. And I don't have enough field knowledge in order to make an to give an idea. All I'm trying to do here is actually open up one more door. That's the whole thing I'm trying to do right now. Literally just a single door. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. I think he's stuck. I got this. Bang. Should open the door. Beautiful. That's the last door I need open. Oh, come on. They've put ruined sentinels behind every door. What is this? One, two. Hey, welcome back. I got my last door open, but there are ruined sentinels behind every single door. Oh yeah, also... There we go. I think this is the way that I need. Yeah, this is the way that I need to go in order to get to the... Oh, the Farama armor. But... yeah, welcome back. I think what I'm might do while I'm here, actually... I believe this is the area where I can go to for the... Covenant of the Dark? Yes, it is.
We meet again, young undead.
I might go do Covenant of the Dark while I'm at it, actually.
You have the look of a true seeker.
Yeah, the Farama armor is, like, really kind of cool. Yeah, while I'm here, I might do...
If you
yeah.
seek true dark,
I might do this.
I will grant it.
That way I can actually try to beat Dark Lurker.
Well then,
The only thing I need to make sure is that I actually have enough... I have enough... What do you call them? Pilgrim... flame butterflies. I've got 10 flame butterflies.
you are now a pilgrim of dark. The dark chasm beckons you. Those drawn to the dark are destined to seek it.
Inventory. I just want to quickly check if I also have to wear the ring. Don't think I have to wear the ring in the Covenant. In the area, but I just need to double check. The Abyss Seal. No, I don't have to wear it. Alright, I should be fine. Do I associate heavy metal with horror? Unironically, no. I typically associate orchestral with horror. And that's just coming down to sort of the really sort of classic orchestral sounds that I associate with horror. I think I've got to make this jump, don't I? Alright. Oh, I would prefer to travel through this area with a flame butterfly, but you've got to clear out... You've got to clear out the guys first. Yeah, especially when it comes to, like, string instruments, which is typically what it happens. Alright, 2 more parries. Thankfully, still got my parry timings down. Alright. I thought thought it was just a regular air stock, not a Ricard's. That's fine. This is why you don't commit the flame butterfly until you've cleared out all the enemies. Yeah, orchestral is like what I would typically associate with horror. Buddy, do I have to...
Fine now, young.
Oh, that's right.
To the dark, if used.
You have to offer human effigies. Oh, that's right. That's what I forgot about doing. Pilgrims of the Dark.
May the dark.
I have 13. Do I like multiplayer games, like online multiplayer? Depends on the game. So, genre-wise... Let me remind myself where I'm going again. I have to go. Up here. And then we're fine. So, I used to play shooters as a much younger person. Not so much now. And I didn't really play... I might have one more attempt at this. I've only got so many human effigies and I kind of need them in case I'm dealing with other areas. I don't want to have to farm human effigies offline again, but or off stream, but I may have to. Yeah, so as a much younger person, I used to play specifically shooters where you could choose your loadout before... You could choose your loadout before going into like a full game. So not like CSGO or Valorant now where they operate on the system of you having to purchase your guns during buy times.
May the dark.
But I used to play the ones where you could... It was before the era of hero shooters as well. Like, you know, we're talking stuff like... Ooh. Like Call of Duties or... Like the most common examples of this would be like your Call of Duty or your Battlefield where you could choose your weapon loadout. The one that I used to play was a shooter called... tried getting the parry timing and I stuffed up. The one that I used to play was called Combat Arms. It was done by Nexon. It was a little janky. Had some serious pay-to-win banana stuff in it. Hold on. Wrong way. I need to go. Oh, that's nice. Let me go back to Drangleic Castle. Sorry. Here we go. Kingsgate. So it was a little janky, had some obviously pay-to-win things, but it was just kind of fun being able to go into a match and it's like, well, I have a backpack of 5 items, and what do I have? I have like 5 rocket launchers in my back. Why do I have 5 rocket launchers? Well, the rocket launchers don't kill anyone in one hit. Also, a frozen flower is the item for the DLC. It opens up the Ivory King DLC, which I kind of need. But it was just like the absolute ability to just do wild, janky things in the game. Don't need to go that way. Don't need anything here. Don't need anything this way. Open up this door. Deal with the trap room. Yeah, I don't need to open that. This area is fine, actually. Like, you don't need whatever is in here. But in case you do want to open it, you literally just stand in place. You don't even have to move at all because all the arrows go completely around you. You're more likely to get hit in here if you panic roll. Now, thankfully, I also won't get invaded by the nameless usurper. Yeah, thankfully I don't get it invaded by the nameless usurper here. But this is not too bad at all. Yeah, that's all good. It's all good. Torches, petrified dragon bones. Might as well talk. That is the queen. Man ahead. Boss ahead. That is the queen. Presented as a fair lady, dressed in white, who brings peace to the kingdom, warns of the threat of a giant, wins the heart of King Vendrick. Climb down the ladder here. We'll get the other bonfire. Right here. As for why there's a splash there, don't ask me. Alright, time to move on. Yeah, over here, that's the queen. Have a look at the pictures in the back. Thankfully, I still have the binos. Have a look at that artwork. That is actually probably the most disturbing thing about the artwork here is they knew deliberately what they were doing here. And again, this plays into the lore of Dark Souls 2. Fragments of Manus entering into kingdoms to try and bring about the dark. To varying levels of success. Over here, in Drangleic, no one would have known the meaning behind what those symbols meant. The queen could have easily gone, hey, it's just a symbol of my homeland. It's important to me. And then people don't realize, oh yeah, that's actually like a fragment of Manus.
You have
Spoilers.
fought admirably on your journey, cursed undead. I am Nashandra, Queen of Drangleic. A true monarch carries the weight of their souls. The last king of this land, King Vendrick, as he was called. He found the strength to rule his people, and when the undead were born, cursed, he found more strength to face them. But in the end, he never took the true throne. Visit Vendrick. We have no need for two rulers.
That last line's pretty sinister, but I actually love the fact that there was a ghost there. Just like, gonna fire a shot. Unfortunately, you cannot get a Guinevere moment out of this. But the line about, you know, there cannot be two rulers. If you clearly by this stage have not picked up the things are gonna go really evil vibes from the Chandra, kind of surprised. Now, boss fight. Kind of an awful one, to be fair. Yeah. Why am I running around? There's one guy up there with a great bow. I don't want to try and keep him with the great bow up there in my line of sight. So I can tell when I've got to try and play around when he's going to shoot. Other than that, there's not much to say about the boss. It's Dragon Rider 1, similar to Hades' Tower of Flame, with more health, backed up by a second Dragon Rider who has the great bow. About it. But yeah, all the bosses in Drangleic Castle are mandatory. I don't count the Pilgrims of the Dark as a... Don't count it as a... Firing another shot. We just keep an eye on... Yep. Gonna get hit by something there. Firing. Alright. Keep an eye out. Firing again. Comboed. Fine. Wait for the... Oh, it's running. Didn't have my shield up on the correct angle. I don't mind if I have to chug all these flasks now. I'm just trying to play this fight safe. Now, that time I pressed roll. I pressed use item at the end of the roll, so I didn't have a chance anyway. If I had buffered another roll, I would have been fine. So if I'd rolled backwards, but didn't buffer the roll. I'd buffered heal, so I knew I was a goner. Probably the other thing you can do is actually focus on bringing down the great bow wielding Dragon Rider. You can do that. He's actually got less health than the halberd one. But to do that, you run over here. just need to... Just hoping to get in there. Doug. I can get a running attack in on this guy. Beautiful. And now it's just a one-on-one against the Dragon Rider. That's it. That's it. This is just Hades Tower of Flame. If you fought Dragon Rider cleanly the first time round, and it'd be the same thing. Also, the soul you get from beating these guys is the same. It's just another Dragon Rider soul. But Dragon Rider's the only... is like one of the few bosses in this game. I was going to say only, but it's not actually the only boss. I think there's a couple of bosses where you have 3 options for their soul. But in the case of the Dragon Rider, you can get the halberd, the bow, or the shield. And because you get 2 versions of the soul, you can get 2 copies of the weapon. Or 2 different weapons. Anyway, I think after you beat... I think it's after you meet Vendrick, Nishandra disappears from that area. But she sticks around until you meet Vendrick, I should say. By the way, we have a friend here. Actually, might go take her something very quickly, and I'll be back. I need to get some more water. And I am back. An effigy. I'm going to have to do that a little bit later on. Because we have a friend here. Hey, Ben Hart.
Oh, well met, friend. Good to see you well. Yes, very good indeed. I journeyed from the distant east to perfect my swordsmanship. And legend has it that powerful beings slumber in this land. This sword has been in my family for generations, and only a real man can wield it true. I may face any man or beast, but none shall be a match for my sword. This land is a right mess, eh?
I still love Ben Hart's accent.
The people have a mad glint in their eyes. The land itself is overrun by terrible beasts. No better place to test my sword, eh? This land is a king.
All right.
Land, no better.
There we go. So, Twin Dragon Riders down. Now, time to do the little loop-de-loop of Drangleic Castle. So, let's talk about this. There's an elevator here we can't do anything about. There's a door here that's locked. The only way to progress is up the ladder. So when we go up here, we're going to do a little loop-de-loop of the top area of Drangleic Castle. Unfortunately, there's going to be more of those golem switches that we need to trigger. And they're not in the best of positions. As you can probably tell as well, the elevator doesn't even stop here. No. Press the wrong button. Be wary of enemy horde. Correct. That little lip down there, you drop down here, you get spanked, you're gonna die. As for how you're gonna die, well, that's the fun one, isn't it? Have a look at all these blood stains. You can see here that we have a golem. Activate the golem. And that opens up the door below, I believe. But you can't climb up that way again. Buddy, what are you doing? New enemy type. Unfortunately, that enemy doesn't work. Instead, we need one from in here. I hope you like dealing with shadows. There we are. Mannequin warriors. Pains in the behind they are. Yep, absolute pains in the behind they are. Still not sure why they used mannequin warriors here. I think this is one of the weird enemy options that they have. Like, I think the thing is though, the masked shadows you see at like No Man's Wharf, they're typically more associated with like prison guards. Still not sure they used mannequin warriors here though. Last my bloodstain, joins the others. Thankfully, this is the only other time I think that we have to use this. No, actually, I think there's one more time after this where we have to use the golems. One. And I think that opens the door. The old knight hammer. Pytha's chime and soul greatsword. If you haven't picked up the idol charm at this stage, Pytha's chime is probably going to serve as your first chime. That works really well with custom hexes. Oh yeah, speaking of other weird enemies, an executioner chariot. Yeah, again, a lot of the enemies weren't specifically changed for areas like Drangleic Castle. So that's why things seem a little bit weird with like, why is there an executioner chariot here? more hits. Fortunately. There we go. Gower's Ring of Protection. Gower's Ring of Protection. Literally protects your back. It's a big, heavy ring shield on your back. I mean, it's literally a ring. And the ring puts like a little ghost thing on your back. Prevents like a massive chunk of damage that you would take on your back. But it's got a really low amount of durability. So it only takes like a couple of hits for it to break. If you're going to use Gowers, definitely need repair powders or multiple copies of Gowers. Definitely multiple copies of Gowers is the way to go. In terms of a PvP sense, it's really obvious to spot when someone's got Gowers. And there are better options. Oh yeah. I did want to show that one off as well. In case it wasn't obvious, the way you can tell it's Mimic as well, not only from the bloodstains on the front, but the bloodstains on the back. Nonetheless, if I really wanted to, I could now just go straight to the boss. Actually, no, I believe, yeah, it opens up the elevator. Take the elevator up, pull the lever up in the top area, and then that opens up the door. One of the longest elevators. Don't worry, the area up here is safe. There's no enemies up here. However, we have a very freaky guy in here. Notice they say no key to the embedded in the inventory. Also, there's a lady trapped in the cage. We'll come across the key to the embedded a bit later on. Key to the King's Passage opens up some of the later doors. I think I also can use it to fight. Key to the King's Passage opens up the door to the area just after Drangleic Castle. That's right, there's the levers further on. I'm misremembering my instructions. But we will have to come back up there anyway. I'll explain once I've got the key to the embedded. But it is going to mean going back up to the room with the mannequins. One of the longest, actually it's probably the longest elevator in Dark Souls 2. Yeah, I think it is the longest elevator. The longest set of stairs, I think, comes in the next area after Drangleic Castle. But stairs, thankfully, aren't typically too bad. Now, we don't need to do the golem again. we've already done the golem once. We shouldn't need to do the golem again. Because the golem's what triggers the elevator. And Executioner Chariot's gone. We just need to deal with the old knights. Yeah, let's go back over here to the Mimic, and you'll see the fact that there are bloodstains behind here as well. Wanting to see if anyone... Right there. Yeah, the grab animation for the Mimic grab goes all the way behind. Hey, welcome back. Easy, Mimic. Washing poles. Oh, man, I remember the washing pole. It was dark washing pole. Yeah, it was dark washing pole infused with resident weapon as a PvP weapon. And all you do is like running attacks, and it just annoys the heck out of people. Like, absolutely annoys people to no end. Also, we're gonna have to deal with a gargoyle up here now. Buddy, no. Yep, there's the gargoyle. Thankfully, I've had more than enough experience fighting these gargoyles. Just get around. I say I have enough experience fighting the gargoyles, and I die straight away. Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, I deserve that one, don't I? Alright, back again to the loop. Still need to open up the door itself. I have to admit, I wish I had a top that weighed like almost nothing, but... no, it happens. Things happen like that. What can you do but like sort of go, whatever. The sooner you get it over and done with, the sooner you can do things that you actually want to do. Alright, I should be able to not run past the mimics. Not the mimics, the mannequins. Oh, yep, okay, that'd be right. Thought I got the kill, but I didn't get... There we go. Don't need anything else up the top. It's just going to be the Alone Captain. I have to admit, this is... I was talking about this just briefly while you were away. I feel like this area here, Drangleic Castle, when they did Scholar of the First Sin, they didn't do much to this area at all. it's still got this weird eclectic mix of enemies. Like Alone Captain, Mannequin Warrior, Gargoyle. And it's like, they could have done a bit of work. Done maybe a little bit of work. Just to try and make things tight. I thought about the 3 hit. Could have done maybe a little bit of work just to sort of tune up the enemies and make them fit a bit better. Specifically the Mannequin Warrior and the Mannequin Warriors and the Alone Captain, I think, are the ones that really stick out. I don't see an issue with the Gargoyle specifically, but I feel like there could have been a little bit more work done. But probably by the time that Scholar was due to come out, they're kind of like, we'll tap out and we've done enough touching up of areas. Because although it's not to say that they didn't do any of the later game areas, Dragon's Shrine is the one that definitely is most noticeable in what they changed. But I don't think I'm going to get to Dragon's Shrine at this time. Seville. I haven't actually been to Spain. I should say I actually haven't even been to anywhere in Europe at all. I haven't had the opportunity. I'd love to go. It's one of those things though as well. When you go to... For someone who doesn't live in Europe, figuring out where you go in Europe is always the toughest part, because it's like, whereabouts do I go? Like, you know, maybe do I want to visit part of France? Do I want to visit part of Spain or Italy? Buddy, you don't have to hit me like that. Oh, that heal was a mistake, wasn't it? I have to admit, though, I wouldn't exactly want to go see anywhere in, like, the UK. I'm not particularly partial to the UK. I think it's always funny to rag on the UK about the food, but that's me. But there are areas that I have to admit, if I had the opportunity to go explore, like, not so much explore, but just visit generally, I'd love to do so. And especially, like, I don't know how I feel about, like, say, during summer. I know during summer it gets, like, Australia temps at the worst of times. But, like, I don't like England as well. I think this is one of those things where I'm not going to disagree with you in any way, shape, or form. I so love this. Actually, this is one of the few things that I really wish had been kept into, like, Dark Souls. I don't know if it's in Dark Souls 3, but it's definitely not in Elden Ring. Every weapon having a... Well, except for chimes and staves, but every melee weapon having, like, a shield bash. Out of the gate, shield bash. Someone's circling up, you hit him with that, and then you slam him with a critical hit. England seems kind of dull. I think for me, it's the weather. It's like, English weather's like notoriously bad. Also, I better step up. This gargoyle's like, I'm too busy jonesing around with it. 1, 2. Yeah, I don't know if I'd even take England, to be fair. Like, the weather's kind of bad at best times. Oh, no, guess what? I'm gonna have to do the loop again. I'm gonna have to do the loop again, because the switch to open up the doorway is inside the room that I stepped over. Go fight the Alone Captain and the Gargoyle. Also, I think it's funny to rag on English food. I know it's like... I'm sure they've probably got really nice food, but I think it's funny to rag on it. Simply because it's like, hey, the food's kind of like plain and dull. England was like one of the big world spice trading areas, partly because they took over all the spice roads. And they couldn't use any of that spice in their food. But that's me. Hold on, hold on. Guys, what are we doing here? That's right, it's this door down here. Oh yeah, speaking of more eclectic choices. Maybe if you can drop any piece of your armor, except for the hood, that would be greatly appreciated. I'd like a little bit of extra coverage. Oh, beautiful. I was just thinking about flame butterflies and how I need them. And that's the Estus Flask shard. But yeah... I think if I was to choose between, say, English food and, say, French or German food or Spanish food, I'd go for anything else. I think I'm just kind of like apathetic to the food. To be fair as well, I mean, Spanish food, like, oh yeah, I'd definitely be down for some of that. That's the key to the King's Passage. I knew I was right about getting the key. I just thought that there's multiple doors that is used. Oh no, it's not the baked beans. It's like the... I think the one that I always like to joke about is like the warm beer and cold tea. And it's like, no, beer is meant to be cold and tea is meant to be warm. Where are the ones with the eyes? Oh, I don't have enough arrows. We're just going to walk in here. I think they hid them. Ah. Yeah. Force Armor DLC. Spanish food looks nice. I kind of like the spiciness of it. It's spicy in a way that I can eat that's not, say, like Indian food. Nothing against Indian food. It's just the fact that it's typically got nuts in it and I can't eat it. And it's like, if I want to eat something spicy, it's either just going to be like a dish that has an amount of chili in it, or it's going to be something nice. Two. There we go. Beautifully done. It's just the 4 knights. Now, before I go into the boss arena, I'm going to use a human effigy. The other one I'd have to admit I'd be curious to try out is... I don't want to say French food because I've had French food before. I don't really think I've had anything German. Alright, what's our summon science? Void? Absolutely booed. You're a huge Indian food lover. Not all of it has nuts. Dal. Yeah, the one that like I had a really bad experience with curry, like an Indian curry. Like I went up to the place. It's like, all right, we might try some curry. I shouldn't get invaded here. If I do get invaded, I'm literally just here. But also, let's have us give ourselves a little bit of privacy here. So I went to this Indian place and it's like, all right, wouldn't mind trying some curry. So I asked the person, so we asked the person who's at the receptionist, can you check with the chef if they don't use nuts in the food? And the person goes, yeah, we don't use nuts. All right, order some curry. It turns out that the food, like the meat that they put into the curry and the other things, were cooked in peanut oil. So I fell ill. That was my experience with curry. And since that time, it's one of those things. This is actually a really fascinating topic. When it comes to food-related traumas, it's really hard to kick a food-related trauma because food is one of those things that you absolutely need for your survival. And if you have a bad experience with food, you can be thrown off that thing for like years or for life. And it doesn't matter how much you enjoyed it beforehand. You just like... I think about someone who's had a bad... Like if you know anyone who's had a bad experience with a food dish, and if you ask them, like, what were their thoughts about eating that dish after they had the experience, whether they still think the same way now or not, it's a fascinating topic. Oh, come on, buddy. Can you stop attacking me, please? No, please. I don't mind actually if you attack me for some unfathomable reason. Actually do damage to this guy. I might help Boyd out with this one here. There we are, done. Ate some dish, and then you bit into a worm. Yeah, so that's the sort of thing, so great. You bite into the dish, you find you have a really bad experience. The question is now, how would you feel about eating that dish again? Or, as well, how would you have felt about eating that dish like a week after you had that experience? Done. Now, I'll grab the other remaining items that are here. Oh, it was a dish that included worms normally? See, that's maybe a little different. If you're expecting maybe to have the worms, you'll never eat that dish again. Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you were expecting the worm, you know it's coming, and you're just like, yes, I know it's going to have worms or insects or crickets, but it's fine. It may throw me off, but It's not like I'm not expecting it. But at the same time, it's like the old classic example. If you bite into an apple and there's a worm on the inside. And that's probably one of the worst things you can have happen to you. It's just like food-related trauma. Things are messy enough when it comes to allergies. Oh yeah, Shrine of Amana. I guess I should ask, have you ever seen the original 1.0 Shrine of Amana? Not Shrine of Amana as it is now, which is still reasonably tough, but manageable, versus the original Shrine of Amana, which is like absolutely horrid. Alright. We hit... Yeah, Dark Souls 2 1.0. Bye-bye. Thankfully, this one's not a mimic. Yeah, 1.0 is horrendous. One of the few areas, I think, in the game that had to get deliberately tuned down because it was just brutal. Like, there were points where you couldn't make progress at all because even if you had... Even if you had the resistance in order to, like, not take the damage from the magic, the fact that you still get pushed back so far is, like, awful. No, buddy, I don't want to bleed out. Thank you. I think I'm better off just using R1s on these guys. No, buddy, I don't want you, actually. I don't want you. It's nice to know that the aggression range on these guys hasn't been tuned down. Also, I think I can go... this way? Of course they would. And then you travel around here. How did you all die? Oh, someone just went straight into the water, that's why. So, there's something really nice about Shrine of Amana. It's such a shift in terms of environment compared to Drangleic Castle, which is very close quarters. Like, hitting the open spaces again, with that view up the top, that's really nice. Full of human effigies, I'll take those. Alright, let's move on. The enemy placement is... Actually, I think that's the one thing they didn't actually change from into Scholar. They didn't really change the placements.
We knew you were coming. And stopped singing. We are Milfanito.
We are here to sing to those bound by death and dark. We will sing here, forever, as we always have, from long, long ago. We know nothing of the world outside.
Yeah, I love the Milfanito
And
here.
why should we?
Their role is to sing to actually keep those who are from the dark sort of bound up.
Do you seek King Vendrick?
And they're basically the reason why Nashandra can't get to Vendrick.
We know nothing of the world outside.
And so one of the Milfanitos chained up. I'll get to that Milfanito once I've got the key to the embedded. But basically,
When we sing, the little ones
they're
die.
all responsible for stopping
The
Nashandra
little
in the
ones
first
grant
place.
comfort to those who bear death and dark.
And then there's the other gate
This
later
is
on which
what
actually
we
stops
were taught.
Nashandra from getting to Vendrick at all.
Is there anything wrong? Perhaps this will help. This
Take
is
it.
all that we can do.
And I'll come back to her once I've freed the other ones.
When we sing, the little one, this.
Alright. Bloody curse pots. Hold on. Who are you, curse pot? Alright, time for this area is still not bad. All things considered, it's not terrible. I mean, sure, these guys have like a massive aggression range. Can we do this? This is funny. Hey guys. One. The other one. Two. Got the Archdrake robes already. That's... I love doing that. Just close the door on the enemy and they're like, we don't know how to open doors. Which is funny because the undead soldiers in like Forest of Fallen Giants can open doors. These guys can't. I guess that's what being an Archdrake does to you. One, two. Alright, should get to the first bonfire past this... Oh, second bonfire past this cave. Imagine if all enemies could open doors. I'm trying to remember what's in there for some reason. I don't know if there's actually anything in there that I'm after. Don't think there is. I think you guys are just like... Hey, you guys chill. I don't... Actually, what? Now let's investigate. Okay, so they were guarding a chest. Yeah, if every enemy could open doors, that'd be creepy as. Thankfully, there's not too many areas where you... Actually, it's kind of a shame there aren't too many areas where you have to deal with door mechanics. Alrighty. Almost at the second bonfire. calm down with the magic already, please. I think I might have to switch my shield out. It's only a little bit better in terms of magic defense. Obviously, I could go with the Llewellyn shield or the Cleric's Palmer. Try and parry, but even if you spell parry these attacks, they're not going to do anything. Right. The mist animation kills you in Dark Souls. You mean going through the fog gate? Yeah, Dark Souls 2 is the only game where you don't have invincibility frames going through a doorway. I just stand here, beautiful. Yeah. No. The attacks... And yeah, if you think back to your 1.0 days, the attacks had even worse tracking on them. Or I should say, even more brutal tracking. Like, they would hone. Even some of the dodges I was making, they wouldn't be possible in 1.0. You'd be like... You try to roll, and they would track straight into you as you're rolling and swerve like 90 degrees. It was rough. Got it. I did not want that happening. Yeah, no, because you don't have invincibility frames at all. Unlike... And it creates that risk-reward system where it's like... You can try to get to the fog gate and open it up, but if you have enemies around, there's a chance they can interrupt you. Whereas... If you clear the enemies out, it's slower and you might take damage, but it means you can open the fog gate without issues. Unlike every other Souls game, where the smarter option is always just open the fog gate. Like, you have full invincibility frames when you're opening the fog gate. Why would you not? Come on, guys, you don't have to hit me like that. Well, they've got the ugliest faces I just noticed. Like, those faces are ugly. Yeah, no, take care. Monday mix, maybe still thinking about what I'm going to do, but probably I will have something on Monday. Otherwise, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Let's see how I'm going. I'm surprised the time's gone by so quickly. I might keep things pretty straightforward and just go for... Maybe just up the Shrine of Amana? But I get swinging. It's fine, it's fine. I don't need a, I don't need to be human for this boss fight. There's no need to summon anyone. Unless maybe I wanted to summon Felicia the Brave. Just to try and take some of the attention away from me in the third area. But otherwise, don't need to. Undead Crypt, maybe, but I'll leave Undead Crypt for... roll those. Roll, take one hit. I'm dead. No, I'm barely alive. Please. I might go light a torch just so I can see where I'm going. Who's tracking me? All right. Light the torch. Thankfully, that's another human effigy to pay for the one that I had to use, or that I may have to use later on. I want to get behind the hippo. Oh, the hippo came out to say hi. Oh well. Can't do much about that. Not sure where they... Probably because I got too close. Still, this is manageable. I can jump. Alright, I'll take that. None of you are going to drop your robes at all? Alright, fine. Now, let's lure this one out. One. Alright. Fine here. Drink. Okay. Locked it just in time. Oh, really? Again? Okay. Oh, okay, thank you. It probably fell into the water. Either by choice or by accident. Alright. Alright, might give the hippo a bit of a wide berth until I've cleared out the remaining area. Maybe even touch the bonfire. Because, to be fair, the only thing behind the hippo, which is actually kind of nice, is Sunlight Blade. Yeah, you can keep your torch partly underwater if the animation allows it to. Alright. Kinda close. Oh. Buddy, we don't have to do that. Might as well use my last heal while I can. Because it's more important to get to the bonfire. Oh, come on. Missed the swing. Alright. I think this is one of those times where I just rush the bonfire. See, no. No harm in risking it for the biscuit. Let's go. Up. Dip. Run. Nope, nope, nope. This way, this way. So I can take... It's basically Mario. You have 3 lives. You can take 2 hits, but the third one will kill me. I think it is possible to weave through all that, though. This is definitely not 1.0. Weave there. One, two, three. Weave around, weave around. Okay, there we go. That's clean. Oh. Drink here, that's fine. Treat it like a checkpoint. Weave through, weave through, weave through. Okay, for 1 hit. Around the building this way. 1. Now. Probably could have gone around the building to where that other Amana Shrine Maiden was. So the second building where there's nothing in there except for the summon sign for Felicia the Brave. I'll probably go around the right-hand side. Find myself a little bit of space. Oh, forlorn. Please, buddy. Please, please. Yeah. That'll... The Lord chases you down from the second bonfire location, I believe. And unfortunately, he will chase you out to, like, all of the bonfires. Also, this is why it's really important to spend all your souls before. Like, having a build planned out. And having a build planned out so that you spend majority of, if not all your runes before you hit Shrine of Amana. Because having to take the slow and steady approach every single time. On it. Alright, we're going to take the slow and steady approach. Every single Shrine Maiden's going to go down. Every single time. I'm so glad I did not set this for Covenant of Champions. I am so glad I did not set this challenge for Covenant of Champions. Okay. Twinkling Titanite. Alright, cool. Okay, heal up. As for what this guy is doing out here, that remains a good question. As for what he's doing out here, I actually don't know. I can't remember why there's a dragon rider out here. So, there's a doorway in Shrine of Amana that leads to a bunch of stuff. Really interesting pieces of items, both in terms of what you can do with them and the lore, but they're not accessible until you go well further into the game and actually get another item altogether. Well, it's more that you have to kind of do something else in order to be able to access the area. But you can't do that now. I'm not sure why there's a dragon rider out there on its own. Yes, now I'm curious. What is the deal with... Wrong way. What's the deal with the dragon rider? Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, interestingly enough, the Dragon Rider here has to be fought in probably the most legitimate manner, because there's like no space. I still don't know what's the deal with the dragon. I think what I might honestly do is just get to the next bonfire, but I want to find out what the deal is with this guy. I mean, I've beaten a fair few bosses already. And the next things that I want to do are all main story content anyway. I think by the time I'm done with Shrine of Amana, though, I might end up having cleared it out permanently. Unfortunately, low-level builds don't tend to do so well. It's just really easy to get one shot. Well, not in this case. More like 3-shot. It's just the two shrine maidens here. And then the other one's past the coast. No? Okay, cool. Dragon Rider is the only thing remaining. Again, buddy, still not sure what you're doing out here. Delayed on the roll. Time for more dukes. Time for more dukes. This might be one of those things where it's just faster to just focus on clearing out certain enemies. One, three. Oh, yeah. I'm taking damage now. I'm really starting to take damage. I think in both cases I might have been in like counter hit animation. Technically the second hit was a counter hit. Well, counter hit is in terms of like, you know, I'm in an animation, so I take extra damage. These ones are straightforward for the moment. Yeah, all three of these ones are straightforward. It's just here where things can get tricky. Yeah, I'm definitely down to 2 hits now. My health's dropped to the point where I'm dying in 2 hits. Life ring's not going to change much. Just focus down. Do I just focus on clearing this area out? Yeah, see, that's an open hit animation. Alright. Let's do it the slow way then. I know behind the hippo is the sunlight blade. Don't need to go into that. Let's lure this guy out. Now, yeah, that side's gonna get me caught for a while. Honestly, if I'm banging my head on this for another couple of minutes, I'm thinking maybe just another 1 minute. Yeah, we'll say next death, and I'll call it there. They've been cleared out. They've been cleared out. You need to be cleared out. Maybe if I get the other aquatic. There we go. Okay. Alright. Let's wrap things up there then. Unfortunately, that's what happens when I commit to R1, R1, R1 instead of R2, R1. Alright, yep. I'm gonna need a break anyway. Shrine of Amana's nowhere near as bad. First part's nowhere near as bad. This part's awful. This is always the part that gets everyone caught. Even the third part's not as bad, because you've got more walls to use, but this is just straight runs. But yeah, I think it's about as good a point as any. Still a lot of progress made, all things considered. Yeah, if you've been watching along, or you're watching after the fact, as always, I'd like to thank you very much for your time, and I do hope you have a wonderful day.